Ahoy, me hearties! Welcome aboard Pirate of the Sky, where we set sail not on the high seas, but through the skies with the United States Coast Guard. These brave air crews answer the call when the storm rages, when ships falter, and when lives hang by a thread. Today, we bear witness to daring rescues, each a tale of courage and skill, carried out by the finest guardians of the air and sea. From the rugged cliffs of Puerto Rico to the vast, unforgiving ocean, these Coast Guard aviators take to the skies in their mighty MH-60, MH-65, and C-130 aircraft, proving once again that when danger looms, the U.S. Coast Guard stands ready. So tighten your harness and keep your eyes on the horizon, for we're about to dive into some of the most heart-pounding rescues. Off the rugged northern cliffs of Playa Esperanza in Manatí, Puerto Rico, a man found himself stranded on a jagged rock formation, waves crashing below. Cut off from safety, with no way back to shore, his fate rested in the hands of the United States Coast Guard. At Air Station Borinquen, an MH-60 Jayhawk air crew sprang into action. These aviators train for moments like this, where speed, skill, and precision mean the difference between life and tragedy. Within minutes, the powerful twin engines roared to life, and the Jayhawk lifted off, racing toward the desperate survivor. Flying along Puerto Rico's coastline, the crew battled strong coastal winds, scanning the jagged landscape below. As they arrived over the rescue site, the challenge was clear. Turbulent updrafts off the cliffs and the constant battering of the surf made for a dangerous hoist operation. But this is exactly what these air crews are trained for. With steady hands and sharp eyes, the flight mechanic lowered the rescue swimmer toward the stranded man, swaying in the unpredictable gusts. The swimmer made contact, securing the survivor in a harness before signaling for the hoist. In a matter of seconds, they were lifted into the safety of the aircraft, away from the unforgiving sea below. With the survivor on board, the crew turned toward San Juan, where emergency teams stood ready at Fernando Luis Ribas Dominici Airport. The survivor was safely transferred, ensuring he received the medical care he needed. For the men and women of the MH-60, this was just another day in service, another mission where training, teamwork, and determination made the impossible possible. From the rugged cliffs of Puerto Rico, we now set our sights across the vast Pacific. Out on the open sea, far from the safety of shore, a medical emergency unfolds aboard a cruise ship. With no hospital for hundreds of miles, there's only one call to make: the United States Coast Guard. 300 miles off the coast of Hawaii, a cruise ship sails under the vast Pacific sky. What was meant to be a voyage of relaxation and adventure has turned into a race against time. A passenger aboard the vessel has suffered multiple strokes, and with no medical facilities nearby, his survival depends on one call: the United States Coast Guard. From Air Station Barbers Point, an MH-65 Dolphin crew is scrambled. The Dolphin, a nimble and fast response helicopter, is built for missions just like this, where distance, time, and precision mean everything. Within minutes, the aircraft is airborne, slicing through the morning sky, heading toward the distant ship. Flying 300 miles over open water is no small feat. Every mission like this is a calculated risk, with fuel burn, weather, and flight time all carefully considered before launch. But the Coast Guard air crews train for the unexpected, and today, the mission is clear. Get there fast, stabilize the patient, and bring him back alive. As the orange and white MH-65 closes in on the cruise ship, the flight mechanic prepares for the hoist. Hovering over a moving vessel, with wind and sea spray swirling around, is no easy task. But these crews operate like a well-oiled machine. The rescue swimmer is lowered, making contact with the ship's medical team. And within moments, the patient is secured and ready for extraction. With careful precision, the hoist lifts both the patient and rescue swimmer into the Dolphin's cabin. Every second counts now. The crew turns back toward land, pushing the aircraft to its limits to cover the distance as quickly as possible. Finally, after an intense journey across the Pacific, the Dolphin touches down at a waiting medical facility. The patient is quickly transferred to higher care, giving him a fighting chance at recovery. For the crew of Air Station Barbers Point, this was another mission where training, teamwork, and split-second decisions made all the difference. From 300 miles out at sea to a hospital on solid ground, the Coast Guard once again proved that when lives are on the line, they will go the distance. From the endless expanse of the Pacific to the rushing waters of Oregon's McKenzie River, danger takes many forms. When a car plunges into the cold, swift current, a 71-year-old woman is left trapped, surrounded by water too treacherous for local rescuers to reach. Once again, the call goes out to the United States Coast Guard. In the early hours of the morning, a routine drive turned into a life-threatening emergency. A 71-year-old woman found herself trapped in her vehicle after it careened into the icy, fast-moving waters of the McKenzie River east of Springfield, Oregon. The currents were too strong, the banks too steep. Local police and fire crews couldn't reach her. There was only one option left: the United States Coast Guard. From Coast Guard Air Station North Bend, an air crew launched in an MH-65 helicopter, cutting through the morning mist toward the river's edge. Swift water rescues leave no room for error. The river's current surged against the partially submerged vehicle, making any surface rescue impossible. From above, the rescue swimmer was lowered. Within moments, contact was made. The swimmer secured the stranded woman in the rescue harness, giving the signal for extraction. Slowly, the hoist reeled them up, lifting her clear of the cold, rushing water. As the MH-65 turned toward safety, the woman's ordeal was over. For the North Bend air crew, it was another reminder that no matter the conditions, no matter the challenge, the Coast Guard will always answer the call. From the raging rivers of Oregon, we now head 200 miles offshore, where a crew member aboard a massive bulk carrier is in urgent need of medical evacuation. With nothing but open ocean in every direction, his only hope lies in the skies, where the U.S. Coast Guard is already en route. 200 miles off the coast of North Carolina, the Sakizaya Queen, a massive bulk carrier, sails through open waters. But aboard, a medical emergency unfolds. A crew member is in distress, in need of urgent evacuation. With no land in sight and no way to get help, there's only one call to make: the United States Coast Guard. From Air Station Elizabeth City, an MH-60 Jayhawk helicopter and a C-130J Hercules take to the sky. The C-130, a powerhouse of endurance and range, races ahead, acting as the eyes in the sky, tracking the ship's location, and providing critical support. Behind it, the MH-60 powers through the air, closing in on the vessel below. Arriving over the ship, the Jayhawk crew prepares for a challenging hoist. Hovering over a moving vessel in open ocean is no easy feat. The rolling swells, shifting winds, and the unpredictable movement of the ship demand absolute precision. But this crew is trained for moments like this. The rescue swimmer is lowered, descending toward the deck with pinpoint accuracy. Within seconds, they make contact with the ship's crew and secure the patient. Every moment counts. With careful coordination, the flight mechanic begins the hoist, lifting both the swimmer and the injured crew member into the hovering aircraft. Now, with the mission halfway complete, the focus shifts to getting the patient back to shore as quickly as possible. The Jayhawk pushes forward, flying at full speed toward the mainland, where emergency medical teams stand ready. As the helicopter touches down, the patient is safely transferred, receiving the medical care he desperately needed. Another life saved, another mission complete. For the air crews of Air Station Elizabeth City, this is just another day on duty, proving once again that no matter how far, no matter how difficult, when the call comes, the Coast Guard always answers. From towering cliffs to open oceans, from raging rivers to distant ships, the U.S. Coast Guard stands ready. Anytime, anywhere. These rescues aren't just missions, they're proof of the skill, courage, and relentless dedication of the men and women who take to the skies, answering the call when lives hang in the balance. Whether it's an MH-60 battling rough seas, an MH-65 racing against time, or a C-130 covering hundreds of miles to provide support, one thing remains certain: the Coast Guard will always be there, So the next time you look to the horizon and see those red and white aircraft soaring above, remember, these aren't just machines. They're lifelines, flown by some of the finest aircrews in the world. Fair winds and following seas, until next time on Pirate of the Sky.